the novelization of like Star Wars.
Welcome to Night We Repeat. This is Nathan.
Devin.
Lucas.
And this is a show where we review movies now.
Not all the time. But
yeah, what happens in this episode, Lucas?
You go and say it, Devin.
Yeah, I'm curious what you think this episode's about.
I know what it's about. I think I'd rather you.
He's testing you whether or not you're prepared for this.
I'm not prepared for this, but today we're going to be talking about the 2013 movie What If, starring Daniel Radcliffe, and I forgot the chick's name.
Wait, isn't this a movie? Isn't this a movie where Adam Driver's like, I just had sex, and now I'm going to eat nachos?
And then he chops off his penis with a lightsaber.
Was this also the movie where he screamed, like, I hope you get an illness and die? What movie is that?
No, that's a Marriage Proposal.
Marriage Proposal.
I
love that clip of like him, like Ray telling him that he'll not be anything like Darth Vader, and him be like, I hope you get an illness and get hit by a car and die. I thought it was so funny. Because I mean, it's so funny to see an actor that's like known for playing one role that's also done a bunch of other stuff and is a really talented actor and have it be spliced by that. I mean, largely. If you showed a picture of him to most people, they'd be like, that's Kylo Ren.
Snape. Oh, yeah.
All right, go on, Devin.
Okay, so there's really only two characters. The first character is Daniel Radcliffe, called Wall. Zoe Kazan, who's called Chantry. And the third called Raph Spalt, who they call him Ben. Now, the general plot to it is Wallace and Zoe Kazan meet at a party, and they're like, hitting it off. They have real chemistry. And then when Wallace takes her home, she's like, oh yeah, here's my number. My boyfriend doesn't want me out too late. And then Wallace is like, oh no, she has a boyfriend. That means I can't really talk to her. But then they talk to each other. They see each other out in the wild, and Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan start being friends, but not dating, because that's not what you do when you're dating. And then they date at the end. So, how did you like the movie?
What I felt about the movie? It sounded like the most basic and generic rom-com ever.
And also in the poster of What If, it says at like the very top, the best rom-com you'll ever see. And I think that is wrong. Because I think a much better story, and this is what the movie is, if Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan were just friends. Like, it ended with them just being friends. Because at the end, she dumps her boyfriend, Ben, and she's like, Daniel Radcliffe, have you loved me this entire time? And he's like, yeah, I did. I wanted to fuck you this entire time. And she's like, that's disgusting. I'm going to move to Korea. And then he moves to Korea with her, and then they date.
Have you watched When We First Met?
No, have you?
I have, or I probably wouldn't have fucking brought it up. No, I'm kidding. But it's a movie that was on Netflix. You mentioned it, and like as soon as you started talking about it, like immediately reminded me of this movie, like What If did. It's a rom-com where it's the guy that I don't remember what he played. The guy who played a character in Pitch Perfect. He was the guy. He was one of the main characters. He was like the main dude from the Troublemakers. Like, not like the love interest for Anna Kendrick, but like the dude that was there before everything else. So like dropped out of whatever. If you care, you'd look it up. So it's him and a girl and another dude who I'm pretty sure played a character on Flash, and that's all I know of him. And
what is the Flash?
I watched the Flash before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So in this movie, basically, it's this guy that was in Pitch Perfect and the girl, and he meets her at a party, and they hang out, and then they go home, and a girl, like the girl's roommate, comes over and basically like ends it. Like she's like they were going to like maybe hook up, but like she came in and like something happened, and they had to like call it off, and he went home, and then he went to, and like it flashes forward to like 5 years later, and the girl and the dude that played in the Flash are getting married, and he's at the wedding, and he's like super sad about it, and he goes to he goes to this photo booth, which was like a thing that happened the night that they like met each other, the girl and the guy from Pitch Perfect. And he takes a picture in the photo booth and goes back in time. And like the entire movie is him. He keeps coming back to this photo booth and trying to like change the past to where him and this girl like end up together. And like he keeps trying over and over again. And every single time something goes wrong and it doesn't work out for him. And then at the very end, he realizes that like he's trying to like go against fate and like put himself with this girl when she was really meant to be with the guy from the Flash. And then like he gets together with the girl's roommate, who like he actually was more like compatible with to begin with, but he never knew that.
That's a better movie.
It is a way better movie. See, here's the thing. That you're like, What If is a generic rom-com. This is a rom-com with a twist. And if it's not a rom-com with a twist, then I'm sorry, but I'm not about it.
Yeah, no, but okay.
Would recommend When We First Met is the movie, is that title's movie. That movie's title.
Give that a rating.
It's been a second since I've watched it. It was hard to rewatch. I tried rewatching it one time, but I couldn't really rewatch it. But then again, there's reasons why that weren't really the movie's fault. But like, I think that it was not only a good movie in terms of like it had a twist, and like it had a good concept, and it's just like conceptually a good idea for a romantic comedy film, but it's also the characters, the casting's awesome, the interactions together, and like the ultimate ending.
I love the cast of What If is pretty good. I feel like the actors did everything they could, but you can't do any like.
Yeah, sometimes you can't work with what you're given. It's just
like
too
you
hard.
have Adam Driver highlighted the movie, and I love his storyline. You know what happens? Okay, so the movie doesn't cover this like at all. It's like just in there, and it doesn't really mean anything. But it's my favorite part of the movie. Adam Driver and this chick hook up the first. Okay. And you think with the character Adam Driver plays in that, he would just be, banging a new chick every time you saw him for an easy laugh.
Uh-huh.
The next scene you see him, they're at like this shop, and he's looking for a ring to marry her. And then they get married. That's the next time they see each other. And they are a good couple together. They're like a good married couple. And that was just, subjective, I guess. Or subversive.
No, that was subjective.
So yeah, it was pretty subjective.
Way too many movies are called What If. Like I looked it up on IMDb, and there's 6 movies called What If.
That does not surprise me.
3 of them came out in 2013.
One last movie that I want to introduce was also a Netflix rom-com. It was called Always Be My Maybe, and it was kind of like it came from the Mariah Carey song "Always Be My Baby." Because like they use that song multiple times throughout it, but like that's how they got the name for it.
Oh, is that the one with
he played
the Asian guy?
Yeah, the Asian guy that played in the Ant-Man and the Wasp. He was like the federal agent. He's such a good actor. He's in so many things. Like he's really good. But in this movie, yeah, he was Asian Jim. Yeah. Wait, so Lucas, have you seen this movie?
No, I just know.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about. Okay. So in this movie, he and this girl who I remember who she played. She played a character called Sasha Tran. I don't know her actor's real name. I apologize, but they're like childhood friends, and like when they're 18, the Asian Jim, his I feel bad saying that because like I'm about to say something pretty sad, but his mother passes away, and the girl is like, she was really, her parents were kind of detached from her, and like they didn't really they were not home a lot. They were too busy running a business to like really take care of her. So she was like, the dude, the Asian Jim's mom was like her mom too, because she was there all the time, and like she taught her how to cook, and she eventually became a 5-star chef, which could have been potentially because of the influence of Asian Jim's mom. And so they hook up after she passes away, and then gets awkward, and they like slip apart. And then the movie flashes forward to like them being in like their 30s, and she moves back to see, like, her husband dumps her, or I think it might have been her fiance, breaks up with her, and she moves, like right before she moves to San Francisco. She moves to San Francisco where Asian Jim is, and she's opening a new restaurant. And so it's basically like the story of like them becoming friends again after what happened, and then they start to become more friends. Keanu Reeves is in this movie, and he plays himself.
Oh yeah, he does.
Like he plays himself. Yeah. And they go to this restaurant where you're eating meats, and you have headphones on, and the animal that you're eating is like making sounds in your ear. So if you're eating steak, like you'll hear cows mooing.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It's so fun. It's so weird. But like, and Asian Jim has a date, and she's kind of a weird, like she's one of the like chakra rock. She's kind of crazy, basically.
Does she have an actual character? Because usually, sometimes they don't. I don't.
I mean, kind of like they develop her character as being like, this is obviously not the girl he's meant to be with. They're not compatible at all. And so they go back to Keanu Reeves' house, and Asian Jim, his girlfriend, Keanu Reeves, and the Sasha Tran, who was on a date with Keanu Reeves. They're all together, and they're playing a game. I don't remember what the game is. I think it was like an advanced truth or dare. And somewhere along the line, Asian Jim punches Keanu Reeves in the face, and
no.
And Keanu Reeves hooks up with Asian Jim's girlfriend, and so he gets them an Uber back to Asian Jim's house, and they go, well, no, it's back to Sasha Tran's house, and they go back to her house, and then they fall in love, and then the rest of the story is about like she's moving back from San Francisco back to like New York, because like San Francisco is not her home anymore. And it's like whether or not he wants to be with her or not. Like after it's like they got back together, but it's like kind of difficult. They have some hardships, but like eventually he realizes like she was the girl. She was the one for him, and so he gets like a plane ticket and flies all the way to New York to say like, I'm sorry, I should have came with you. And that's basically the movie. Yeah.
Came.
Okay, so I feel like that's 3 different levels of rom-com. Because I don't know, I feel like the first one you were talking about sounded really good, and then What If sounds like garbage.
Both of the movies that I've watched, and because I haven't watched What If, but like both of the movies that I've talked about were really good movies. I would recommend them if they're still even on Netflix. And they're not. I don't like a generic rom-com. Like you're not gonna catch me watching The Notebook. I get that there's like a twist in The Notebook or whatever. Like I don't think the rom-com having a twist in the ending is a good idea. I watched the rom-com about debate too.
Isn't that called Candy Jar or something?
Yeah, most debate movies revolve around like a romantic interest. Like there's another one
really?
too. I don't know why. Most of them are rom-coms. Which I mean is actually pretty fitting for debate, or at least in my experience.
I don't think I can say the same.
I mean, that's fair enough, but I mean, whether or not you personally or like other people, I don't know. I found it fitting. But like,
maybe I'll have to date down before I see it.
What?
Was that an episode?
Yeah. Yep. That's been the episode. Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna make these a little bit shorter. This is 15 minutes. It was supposed to be like 10, but it's whatever. We had fun. We talked about stuff we wanted to talk about.
We had fun.
Also, real quick, I'd like to address our new setup. Listen to this. We got mics.
We got mics now.
We're still in the same room though.
We're in the same room.
Still toys surrounding us. Nothing.
Yeah, totally. We're totally not on a Discord call right now. We're totally not like miles apart from one another. Not at all.
All right. See you guys. Love you.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Oh,
I'm gonna eat you.
Okay.